Hi, I'm Annabel Greene. I'm the Communications and Development Intern at WCPI. I am a rising senior at Loyola University, Maryland, pursuing a BA in Economics with a double minor in French and Chinese.
My name is Ansley Langham. I'm WCPI's policy intern this summer. I'm a rising sophomore at Emory University, where I study political science and math as well as Italian studies. For a lot of people, myself included, the women's issues space has seemed incompatible with bipartisanship. And I think when I initially was researching WCPI and learned that two of its central tenets are bipartisanship and women's issues, I was intrigued.
I found it very inspiring because I haven't seen a lot of bipartisan work in my life, and I also noticed that it was one of the few truly bipartisan nonprofits that work in politics.
So in general, the work I've loved most at WCPI has been research-based. Every week I compile the weekly legislative update, or the WLU, which requires staying on top of new legislation and committee work, oftentimes before bill text or committee memos are available. So I've had to become a bit of a detective, and I've really sharpened my research and analytical skills.
I really liked specifically working for Disability Pride Month. I really enjoyed all the research and all the things that I learned about what women with disability are doing on both sides of the aisle in government.
In addition, I really love working with data, and so I really enjoyed the self-directed projects that I got to work on that involve data aggregation, specifically using data to analyze how involved congresswomen are in the reproductive health bills that are being introduced, and then also forecasting the women that are likely to be part of the caucus in the 118th Congress. One really interesting project that the Communications and Development intern, Annabel, and I have been working on is something that we've called Her Path to the Hill. And this project has entailed us going and interviewing several women staffers on the Hill, varying from staff directors to communications directors, and just running the gamut of all sorts of diverse jobs on the Hill. And we are talking with these inspiring women about their journeys to becoming Hill staffers.
Some of them have been unconventional and unexpected. For example, Brooke Bennett, the chief of staff for Representative French Hill, wanted to be a professional roller skater growing up, and now she's the chief of staff and has spent 17 years on the Hill.
Offering advice and inspiration for young women hoping to work on the Hill one day. So I love that my job here feels meaningful, and that all of the staff really make the interns feel like we're a valuable part of the work that the organization does. We do this lunch and learn series.
I met with the vice president of WCPI, Cheryl, and we talked specifically about the history of the Women's Caucus, and I found that to be very insightful, especially going forward in various projects that I was pursuing. I really like that I can email the president or the vice president and have a meeting with them.
Being a paid intern makes it possible for a lot of people like myself to financially do something like this in the summer, something that's Hill adjacent and really meaningful resume building work.
Because of the pay that I received, I was able to come down to DC for 2 weeks and work in person, and I would not have been able to do that had this internship not been paid.
So the externship is an amazing way to get an accurate look firsthand at what the work of Congress looks like.
I really enjoyed working on both sides of the aisle. I got to work for Representative French Hill's office. He's a Republican representative from Arkansas, and I also got to work on the House Committee on Homeland Security office.
It made Congress feel like a way more attainable institution for me to work in. I met amazing staff in a diverse set of jobs on both sides of the aisle.
I found it very interesting to see the intersection between both Democrat and Republican work by working in two different offices and seeing how teamwork is very big in Congress, which you don't really see a lot on TV, but it is so important for getting legislation done. I hope to continue working in the nonprofit field or potentially go into corporate philanthropy, and I think the work that we do at WCPI as a nonprofit has given me a lot of skills that I will take going forward.
I hope to be a legislative attorney one day, ideally with the HOLC, the House Office of the Legislative Counsel. This internship really confirmed for me that I love working with policy, and I love the women's issues space. This internship definitely involves doing more than that. Women's issues intersect with every other issue area, and WCPI really explores all of those intersections. Not only do I have an increased awareness of the current work being done in the women's issues space, but I understand the ins and outs of the legislative branch more clearly now, and I think this internship just kind of helped put all of the pieces together for me. My biggest piece of advice for the future interns is to ask lots of questions.
There's no such thing as a bad question. I really enjoyed at WCPI how they encourage you to ask questions and how they welcome them, as well as really embrace the teamwork work ethic that runs through the core of WCPI. Because we work with such a variety of people, you're able to really build up a network for the future and your future internships and career aspirations For example, we held a briefing on women-owned small businesses. I was able to meet women in corporate, in government, and in nonprofits and see the intersection between the three.
Women in leadership give me a model of what I want to be. I hope that someday I can be a woman in a position of leadership.
I think it's very inspiring to see specifically women of color in positions of power and positions of leadership, because I feel like their lived experiences and how they incorporate it into their politics really helps the general population understand better about the issues that people of color face. It's been very empowering for me to see women being loud and making changes.
It's really cool to take cues from the women here at WCPI and the women that I've worked with on the Hill, who all are leaders in their fields, but also are kind enough and generous enough to extend their time to me and to younger women who are trying to work their way up.